What's up, beautiful people? Thanks for being here. I'm Lady Di, and I'm your wife coach for the evening. As always, I go live on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, Fridays at 9:30. I appreciate everyone who stopped by on Monday when I did the arranged marriage segment. So, yes, if you are new here, if you could please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. So today, as you already could see, my title is Reasons to Not Divorce. Like divorce is not an option, because we are here to teach you how to keep a stable, happy marriage. And that is the goal on this channel, Dating to Marriage Support. We teach individuals try to find that right spouse and then how to keep that spouse. Because we could get married all day long, but it don't mean that it's gonna stay. You're gonna stay in it. Because some people like to quit early. For some of the times, there's our reasons. I'm not gonna say there's never a reason. There are some reasons, yes. Life-threatening ones. Y'all know how I roll. Life-threatening reasons, right? But typically, if you got married, you said I do, you need to follow the vows, right? You have to follow that because that's what marriage is about. That's what marriage is about. Nowhere in there does it say happy. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, I'm not happy. I made a poll today. If you had voted, thank you so much. But my poll said, what are the acceptable reasons for getting a divorce? Of course, you have the cheating, breakup, baby, toxic, not happy, domestic violence. There's no reason. Okay. So a lot of people voted for domestic violence. So yes, stuff like that, of course, if it's life-threatening. Okay. So today I have a special guest, and they go by the name of Family Values. She is married with 8 children, housewife. Yes, it is possible to be a housewife in today's society. A lot of people don't think so, but it's possible. I'm going to bring someone up here to explain how that works for her and her family. Because I could talk all day about my household, but we got other people just like me. But she got 8 kids. See, I ain't got all that. We got 4 in here. And I'm like, woo, right? But, we're going to show a lot of different families that are happy. Because today, there's a lot of negativity out in the streets, a lot of negativity on the media. But on my channel, I'm going to try to show positivity because that's what we're all about. All right. So thank you so much. Family Values. Yes. And I believe this is her husband. I was on live with him the other day, actually. What's up, Misery Loves Company? Hi, Bella Rings. What's up? Thank you for being here. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to bring her up right now. Hi. How are you? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for having me on.
I had to. I seen we connected on, I think, Instagram, and I had seen some of your videos. I was like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. The stuff that you were saying reminded me of kind of like the stuff that I try to bring to my platform in that way, like we're very similar. So what do we call you? What's your name?
My name is Jasmine.
Jasmine. You look like a Jasmine too. Jasmines are normally pretty, right?
I guess. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, we're gonna just talk about how did you even get here, basically? Because there's a lot of women that's like, oh, I can't find a good man. God won't bring him down, and everybody I see are no good. He's nice. All these silly things. So how did you meet your husband?
Well, it's a funny story. Actually, I when I met him, I had 2 children already, and I had just like had this eye opening moment where I realized that, because I'm a single mom, I probably won't get married. And I've recognized that, okay, like, men don't really want single moms. And it was just like during a very humbling season for me.
Yeah.
And I stopped caring to date, stopped looking for love. I was like, you know what, let me just focus on my kids. And then that's when I met him, and we got the talking, and I wasn't looking for anything serious, but we hung out, we had fun together. And through conversations with him, I was like, wow, this guy is like super smart, super wise. He was always like, if something went wrong with me and I'm venting to him about it, he always came with solutions. It was just like, wow, like I could follow this guy blindly anywhere. So
Right.
so I was just happy to be in his presence most of the time. But I worked to, gain his trust, and we ended up moving in together. I think, yeah, we were shacking up. We ended up moving together, like maybe maybe like 6 months after I met him. And
Okay.
I left my kids with my mom, and because he was in the military and he moved away, so I moved in with him in a different state. And once things got serious, after a few months, I went and grabbed my kids, and then we eventually got married. And after I had his first baby, he was like, okay, well, I think you should stay home. And I stayed home. and
That's how
and
it started. Look, that's how it started. But let me back it up just a little bit. Your story a little bit sounds like mine, because
really.
so you moved in with your husband at the 6 month mark. I
Hmm.
moved in with mine at the 3 week mark. Okay, and military too, same thing.
Okay.
Only thing is, I didn't have kids. He did. He was married before, so he had children, a son. So I came into their life, yes, but
Mhm.
very similar, except mine is a little drastic. 3 week mark, I'm like, woo, I moved in with them. So I understand, shacking up, whatever, however you want to call it.
Right. I would
Sometimes,
have did the same if that was an option.
right? Oh, if that was the option, yeah,
Yeah.
it was available. He was available, and sometimes you have to in this society to get to know someone. The best way you're gonna know is if you're with them in the house, right? You
Hmm.
can date all day. You could play sleepover however you want, but today people are really out there to get you and to just use you. So you have to kind of wean it out. Now, if this was back in the day, I wouldn't even suggest something like, shacking up, quote unquote. But today,
Hmm.
oh no, it's necessary. Just be careful. So when did y'all get married though, in between that time?
Um, in between that time, I moved in, and then maybe a year later, I believe so. About a year and a half later, we got married.
Okay. And
Yeah,
did you
we
get
we
married
we
before? Uh-huh.
we rededicated our lives back to Christ, and we was just like, you know what, let's do this right, and we got
Okay.
married.
So was it like before your child that you had together?
Yeah,
Or
I did get pregnant. I was pregnant at my wedding.
oh, okay, me too. Me
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
was too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant at my wedding.
Same.
So yeah, and then we had her, and then the next year we had another and another. Every year since then, we've had a kid.
Same. So the crazy thing is we got married in December 2016, and I was pregnant February 2017. So I
Okay.
was 3, 4 months pregnant literally at my wedding. And I picked out my wedding dress in January, right after a month after we got married at the courthouse.
Mm,
And I didn't know I wasn't pregnant then, but luckily the dress that I picked fit the stomach that I was gonna gain. It was like a flare, like the what is it?
uh-huh.
What is it? The high top and the dress flare at the bottom type at the stomach
Yeah.
part. It was flaring. So it worked
Mhm.
out. But my stomach was getting a little tight. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
luckily."
I had bought my dress before I started getting big, before I knew I was pregnant, and then I was like, "Oh Lord," but we were able to get it tailored. I went and got it added some fabric cuz I got bigger.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
pregnancies to get us. What's up, actual King Smith? Yes, this is gonna be an interesting one. Yeah,
Hey,
support.
Bella.
I moved in with mine around that time too. Shout out to the military spouses. I
Hey.
don't know if you guys know. I am a military spouse. I don't know if I ever shared that on here.
Mhm.
All right, so is your husband still in the military?
No, he got out. Mhm.
Oh, we gotta link up because
Mhm.
we trying to do the same. No, no, we gotta talk though.
Mhm.
Yeah, we gotta get on the panel, all three of us one day.
So
Yeah.
you got married in 2017?
2016, and I
Okay,
had my
me too.
wedding. Oh, you did? Oh
Yeah.
wow.
This is crazy,
That's
right?
crazy. Look, what is it? Internet twins.
Right.
So 2016, and then we had a wedding in 2017. So like 6 months later, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And my husband was like, no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have this wedding because I don't want to hear you complaining that we didn't have it. And we're gonna, you know how it is. People
Mhm.
like, even my mom, I remember when they got married, they were like, oh, we're gonna do it 5 year, and it never happened. So he
Mm.
said that, I was like, okay. I didn't really care. I was just happy to be with him. So it didn't matter.
Right, exactly. Whatever you want to do.
Now I want to ask you this. This might be a little personal. You don't have to answer it. I
Mhm.
see women, they get married and they wait so long to change their name. There's one particular person I went to school with. She waited 2 years and she was like, I trust him now. And I was like, that's such a slap. Like, to say that with you changing it.
Well, I'm going to shamefully admit that I did not change my name right away, but it wasn't because I didn't trust him or didn't want to. I was just lazy about it. I didn't do the steps to do it, and I kept putting it off, and I kept forgetting about it. But it was very embarrassing when I had to write my maiden name down and stuff like that, and people are questioning, well, is he your husband? That was very embarrassing, and I didn't like that.
Mm,
And I really felt bad about that. It was my own, just in not what do you call it, irresponsibility. Yeah,
okay.
I think what it took, I don't even remember if you're in the chat, Driscoll, how long it took me, but I
Ah,
it's been a
I,
while.
it reminded me of my sister-in-law. She just shared that she just changed her goddamn name. I said, girl, I never knew that you changed it down. And I think it's been a few years for her too.
Hmm.
But I understand. She said she forgot, or not forgot. She what was it? What did you just say? She
Just being irresponsible and
irresponsible. There we
yeah,
go. Or however you want to call it. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not here to shame. I just wanted to bring some like share, because everybody. So when I changed my name, I changed it the next day.
right. I changed it on Facebook,
You're like, true,
but
true. So
that doesn't really matter.
everybody's not the same. So I just love to share just the diversity. That's what we're all about. And it's not to shame nobody. But
Mhm.
if you're out there saying you're not changing your name because you the trust part, I feel like anybody should trash all of that, because if you
Mhm.
said I do and you allowed this man to walk you in life together with him, that's a big I would say red flag. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you're a bad person. It's just the
Mhm.
mindset that you have is a red flag.
Ab
So just figure out how to trust this man. Tell him too. Just say, hey, be honest, because men know how to help for real. They know how to help, especially with emotions. The good some all right. Some men know how to. I'm not gonna say all men, but there are some men out there that really know how to help with our emotions. So if you are one of those ladies, don't be shy to say it to him, because we, try
Mhm.
to get through it together.
Right.
But yeah, so
But
now you
it's definitely, I agree. It's a shame. It's a shame on me. You don't have to be, afraid. It was. I feel really bad that I waited that long because like I said, it was embarrassing. And every time I thought about it, I was like, oh, I need to get it done. And then stuff started happening, life happened. And then I just, kept putting it off. But I think it's a sign of distrust. It's a sign that shows people that, um, like you said, you're not really one. If you're afraid to take his name, why did you marry him? Because I
mhm.
see a lot of women want their names hyphenated. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's off too. That's a red flag as well. Are you
Hmm.
his or aren't you? You're
Ooh,
not your father's anymore. Your father gave you away to him.
wow. No, I say wow because I don't normally hear women say that. I didn't hyphenate my name, so I completely understand what you're saying. But
Hmm.
for the woman who, hyphenated their name, what's the reason behind that? Because some people say, oh, I wanted to keep my family's name, but like Jasmine just said, you're keeping your father's name. You're not under him anymore. That's why if you have your father, they walk you through and they hand you over to your husband. And even if you don't have a father, that's just how it goes. Most of us
Right.
have our father's last name. He's either there or not. It's just
Mhm.
the principle of it. They walk you through, they hand your hand over in marriage to the person that's going to take over. So hyphenating names. And then when it comes to the kids, how does that even work? Does everybody
Right.
hyphenate the name too?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I never thought about that. How would that work?
I don't know. Unless listen, I'll ask somebody, whoever come up here and say that they hyphenate their name. Let me know.
Mhm. Hopefully
So
the father puts his foot down and say, no, they're getting my name.
Yeah, y'all men gotta definitely keep that foot down and firm. Don't let it up. You hear me? But your husband, how did he feel? Did you guys ever talk about your name? Why you didn't change it?
No, he was just cool with it. I don't think he wanted to force anything like that. I mean, he brought it up in the beginning and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get it done. And I just didn't get it done. I think he's a very observant man. He's very wise. So he just sat back and watched and
Okay.
see what I was gonna do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ain't gotta say nothing because you was there. Obviously, you had the
Mhm.
baby, so ain't no where you going. Where you going?
Right, right.
So okay. So with 8 kids, that's a lot of kids. So how, okay, you don't work, you're a housewife, which is cool. But how is, let's say, your husband, taking care of all of you? That's 9 people. What does he do for a living? 10,
Well, I'm just saying it's
including
10
him.
altogether. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, 10 of you guys. How does that work?
I actually it's all about being frugal. All my kids are close in age, so they wear each other's clothes. They get hand-me-downs. We don't have to have the best of the best. Um, you know, because they're so little right now, they share rooms. There's a girls' room and a boys' room. There's no need to be extravagant, especially when all your children are around the same age.
Yeah.
And then, I just worked around, what it is like before he met me. I used to go and get my nails and toes done all the time. But I because I'm not working anymore. I'm like, okay, let's alleviate some of that stress. I don't need these things. Let me learn how to do it myself. And I do. I have everything I need. I could do acrylics and all of that. I can do my own nails. I can do my own hair. I can buy the cheap makeup from the dollar store. This is dollar store makeup. Like,
Oh, wow.
you don't need the extravagant, expensive things to survive.
I
I
love
think.
your answer. This is what we need to hear, that. And I live my life just the same.
Mhm.
Now, when I was in high school, I seen a girl, she used to buy her makeup from like Walmart or like the Dollar Tree as well, and it still looked nice. So I do believe that. And then, you look nice too. So you don't have to have, you can have it, but if it's going to take it from your pockets, where it's taken away from your family, when you could, have other things that are more important, prioritizing and understanding how to budget is definitely needed, even if you don't have 8 kids. I'm gonna keep saying 8 kids. That's a lot of kids. I just gotta keep saying it. So what's up, Mona D? How are you doing? Chantel, what's up, girl? She says, love this collab. Jasmine is awesome. Nice. Look, I'm just meeting her for the first time. Um, Driscoll TV says homeschool helps. We never have to buy school clothes. Ooh, exactly. That's a biannual expense for most families. I like how you broke that down.
Mhm.
Yes, y'all could just, I mean, you could wear whatever you want. You at home. You just impressing each other, honestly. So
Exactly.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Keep your pajamas on if you want.
Exactly. So, I understand exactly what you're saying. So for us, we didn't, so I had a stepson, I think it was the first 4 years. And then we used to buy, goats. Well, my husband's very frugal too when he shops. So he taught me how to buy, let's say Nikes, right? Nike shirt. He was showing me, he got his shirt for like $2. And I was like, how do you get a Nike shirt for $2? I've never seen nothing that cheap in my life. So he took me one day, we went shopping, and it was like clearance on top of clearance on top of holiday sale. And them clothes was like the I think the most expensive was like 5. And I was
Mhm.
like, yo, I'd never seen this before. So that's how it started. But we used to wear, name brands back in the day, especially our son or whatever. But when I had my first son, we had a whole bunch of hand-me-downs from the first child. So my kid was set because he kept everything. My husband keep everything. He one of those. So he had baby clothes from newborn all the way up to into 3T. And then I got into it like when my stepson was 2. So I came
Mhm.
and then we had more clothes on top of that. So my firstborn was set. Secondborn was set. Thirdborn, because that was like 12 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
after a while, you do have to kind of like switch it up. But I do get that. That is the best way.
Yeah, this last baby, definitely I had to switch up because the baby before that was a boy. So she has some of his stuff, but I'm like, she's a girl. And we want this to be our last child. I'm like, let's buy her a wardrobe. Like we can do it this time, right, Kim?
Yeah. I be saying like if we ever had another one, I'm like, no, we're gonna buy this person new clothes because it's so long. I get that. But
Yeah.
even like, in our house, furniture, we could buy furniture anywhere. But furniture, you could either finance it or you could just buy it outright. There's times where we go to the Habitat for Humanity. I don't know if they have that in
Mhm.
where you're at, but Habitat for Restore,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, they be having nice things. People drop the nicest things off there. It's not always nice, but they have nice things that they donate. So
Mhm.
never be afraid or ashamed to go to thrift stores because sometimes you find hidden gems. One of my best items in my house is from a quote unquote thrift store.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah, same. I mean, I definitely thrift a lot, and then due to the fact that I've been pregnant all the time, it's like it makes no sense to buy nice new clothes for myself. So I would go to the thrift store and get, some of the maternity things from there. But I didn't really care because I'm home all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, this shirt is from a thrift store.
Look, and to me, people like to dress to impress, but you know what's gonna dress to impress for a woman? Her beauty, the hair, everything like that. You'll shine regardless of what clothes you have on. Now, if
Mhm.
you're going out, somewhere extravagant, then you got it. Yeah, because if not, you're gonna look like, well, what the hell you wearing that for? You're not dressing up for the cause. So sometimes it is needed to dress up, look pretty wherever you're going, but it's not like a daily thing. And that's what we're trying to say. It's not a daily because what you're doing is you're trying to eliminate expenses. So
Right.
why look nice because you're going to Target? And I'm not
Right.
saying, see, when I say nice, I'm talking about you have to wear, what is it, Michael Kors or something like that.
Mhm.
You don't
Mhm.
have to wear that going to Target. You could put
Mhm.
on something that is less flashy because I don't like to be flashy. So less
Mhm.
flashy just so you don't get the attention. But
Right. Yeah. And because, due to my being frugal, when we do get a chance to go on a date once in a while, he takes me to go shopping. I get a whole new outfit for that, for the
mm,
date.
mm,
So, if you are saving correctly, you can splurge now and then.
that's cute. I like that. Okay. So now you said your kids are close in age. How close did you say?
Okay. So I have my 3-month old, um, my
Look,
1-year old, my 2-year old, my 3-year old, my 4-year old.
wait, so every
Yeah.
year so
And then,
far?
yeah, every year. And then I have a 6-year old. And then that was about a 2-year. And then I have a 12 and 10-year-old.
Hmm. Okay, so you have help in the house with the older kids.
Absolutely.
Wow. So did you
The
have any?
oldest is a girl. She's 12.
Oh,
She helps a lot. Mhm.
wow, that's amazing. What about the second to oldest?
He helps, but he's a little troublemaker. So
Yeah, them boys,
yeah,
I swear.
yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
So what did you have a hard pregnancy or they were all smooth or how did that
Yeah.
work for you?
Yeah, I've had pretty easy pregnancies. My It's funny because like me and my husband have these discussions a lot when we talk about how women will blame their PMS or the fact that they're moody because they're pregnant, and
Mm,
they blame that on the reason why they're disrespectful to their husband.
mm,
And I personally don't think that's an excuse to be disrespectful. I mean, you need to learn how to control it. Yes, we
mm.
have hormonal issues, but you're going to have to learn how to control those hormones.
You do. And we have a lot in common. I'm glad that we're on this together because so I'll just share the PMS part of it. So when I got with my husband, I didn't have no kids. I didn't get pregnant until like 4 or 5 years later. But with the PMS every month, um, I was one of those who I didn't have attitudes. I didn't do none of that. I was like, matter of fact, I need to be around you. You're gonna help me. you make me feel better anyway by me being in your presence. I use that. And then I'm just not going to be cursing you out because I have a cramp or whatever the issue is. Because guess what? I got a pill to pop or I got a tea to drink. I can go to sleep. And then when I wake up, I should be, fine. And I'm not saying that your moods don't change. Sure, no one wants to be dealing with that, to be real. But at the same time, your man don't want to deal with your mouth. So you need to learn how to work under, sorry, not work, learn how to speak while you're under pressure, literally, and be respectful because it's not fair to the person that you're with. Imagine, I'm gonna just use something simple. Your husband, your man, whoever comes from work and he starts talking to you all crazy because he had a bad day. No, he learns how to control it. Cool. I'm going to go. I'm going to go in my home. I'm going to respect my wife, my girl, whoever, and I'm going to treat her how I want to be treated. Women always use an excuse for that, So I think, yeah, for you. So can you explain to the audience how you're able to keep your respect even when you're not feeling as well?
One thing that a lot of people don't realize is being active actually helps balance that. I think, what is it? It's endorphins that releases, and
Yes.
it makes you happy. So,
Wow.
so being active, drinking water, and prayers definitely been my fallback on most of our marriage. If I wake up one day and I'm just sad, because like PMS, for instance, I don't really have an attitude. I'm just more so a crybaby and everything hurts my feelings.
Oh, emotional as hell.
Right. I watch a reel on Instagram and I'm crying. So so I don't really have too much of an irritability issue, but when I do, because it does happen, especially all these kids, they could get annoying at times. So,
Thank you for
but
admitting that, because, girl.
yeah, but when I do, it's more so like I think in my head, okay, today I'm being mean. Today I got an attitude. Let me watch how I treat my husband. Like it's a literal mental note. Like
Yes.
today I'm not feeling it. So let me be even more nicer because I know I may slip up because I have. And then when he checks me, I'm like, oh shoot, my bad. I'm
Right,
sorry.
right. Exactly.
Because no one's perfect, of course, but there are ways to really, to handle that. Take a breather, go take a shower. That's one of my favorite things. I sit in the shower, pray, sing, whatever I got to do, and then come back to my family.
That's right. Those are great tactics, and I've used that before, especially with the shower.
Mhm.
Close the door, listen to all the songs you used to, rock to when you were younger, and just reminisce, think about memories or something like that, and just take a break. We all need, and some women don't feel that going in the shower is a break. They're like, I want to go out. I want to get a drink. I'm like, that's more work. Okay, that's not a break. That's you going outside, got to put energy to get dressed, spend some money, drive wherever you got to go, entertain. Okay, entertaining is draining. All right. You need a break means you're free for by yourself and you get your thoughts together. You reset, not do opposite. You can't reset at the bar or lounge or whatever it is that you like to do. Even
Right.
shopping is draining. Some people like to shop. I'm not saying you can't use that as like a therapy. Some
Mhm.
people could do that, and if it's not draining, cool. But
Mhm.
the things that's going to help us are things that's going to give us a full break. So yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so your what was I gonna say? Your labor, did you have labor like a quick labor or was it long like your kids?
After the first two, the rest have been pretty quick, pretty fast. The last three I had at home. Well, one in a birthing center, and the last two at home. And I think those were the quickest because I think you're more comfortable in your own nesting ground, your own home. It's
Mhm.
all it's a mind thing. When you're in the hospital, it's cold. There's doctors that don't really seem to care about you, really.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of noises and you're uncomfortable. You got that stuff strapped on your belly.
Wow.
hated it. I would always take it off and they would come back in, put it back on. So the or I'll move it to the side and they're like, we can't hear the baby. I'm like, I can feel her. She's okay.
Thank
Like,
you. Like they still moving. And trust me, I'm gonna let you know. Like
right.
the one that got the baby in the stomach, they be doing too much. So mine is a little similar. I had my 2 at the hospital. And that first experience was quick. I think the labor was 6 hours. Half of that was early labor. Early labor for me, it is not painful, but the last 3 hours was. And that was smooth, I guess. And then the second one, same. It was shorter. It was 3-hour labor total. And then I had my last kid at home. I was finally able to do that because I always wanted like a water birth, but I wasn't able to. Well, they had the pool, but I wasn't comfortable in there. But I did the labor at home, the house that I'm in now, my last. So I'm so happy I was able to accomplish that. And you were right. I did feel a little bit more at ease, more comfortable. They weren't down my throat. My midwife, she wasn't even around. She just said, "Call me if you need me." She came like every 30 minutes. And she was out the way. She was like, "No, you got to do this on your own. You let me know when you're ready." She's one of those. So yeah, I definitely did. Your home birth experience, did you like that? Did it work for you?
Yeah, it was amazing. I actually
Especially afterwards too.
Yeah, because you just get to go lay in your own bed,
Yeah.
and then you got your family there with you. But yeah, actually, I had the baby right here where I'm at.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was in a pool. We had a pool in here, and it was wonderful. It happened very quickly. Actually, I didn't like the day I went into labor. I had went outside to play basketball and to play with the kids. We all went outside. When I came in a few hours later, I started having contractions. And like you said, it's not that painful.
Right.
Then my husband works nights. When he came home at 2:30ish, I was like, yeah, I think the baby's going to be coming soon. And he was like, okay. He was like, well, let's get some rest. And I'm like, it started when he got home. It's like my mind knew, okay, it's time. I can have this baby now.
Wow.
And so my body just it ramped up, and then all of a sudden they were back to back to back, 3 minutes apart. I called the midwife to let her know. She was like, I'm on my way. And I'm like, well, no, take your time. I wanted to straighten up the house a little bit.
Right.
And she said she pulled up at the Walmart that's up the street because she said, she knows I've had 8 kids or 7 kids. She's like, that baby's going to come. I'm going to respect her space, but I'm going to be right here.
Yeah.
But as soon as she came in, I think I got in the pool and I had the baby within like what? After I got in the pool, it was like 20 minutes at the most.
You lucky, because I sat in that pool, and when I say it did help pain, that hot water does something to the contractions where you don't feel it as much. But I sat in that pool and nothing was happening, and it was like, I guess it wasn't time, but it was different for me. I'm so used to pushing, like, in the hospital bed. Even in my own house, I literally got on my bed. I said, no, I'm gonna push like I'm in the hospital, and that didn't work. They ended up giving me a squatting chair, inflatable one, and right across from me is where I did, had my baby as well. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes when you get in that warm water, it soothes you so much that it slows labor.
So that's probably what was happening for me, because it wasn't happening. So with your kids being back to back, did you use cloth diapers or disposable?
No, disposables. We spend a lot of money on diapers. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I ain't washing no diaper.
I thought about it and I've done it occasionally now and then, but nah, I didn't like it.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's a big money saver. That's why I asked. Like, you save so much. Now, if you have a big like baby shower and you just ask them to buy diapers, that's a way to get that cost down, and wipes. But at the same time, like it's a lot, those diapers cost. I'm still buying diapers now. I was like, you know what? My son is about to be 1. I said, you about to get some pull-ups, my guy. We're not doing diapers. We're going to do pull-ups. I'm going to potty train you now because he's so smart. I think he can do it. Let me see. All right. They're saying to us, great advice. They need to teach this in school. Yeah, right. Mona D says, facts. I had a family tell me, you need to get out and get a drink for myself. Like, ma'am, I went to the gym and I just in the car for 20 minutes alone. I'm good. Exactly. It's just alone time. What are you talking about? Blessings. Midwives are such a blessing.
Yes, they are.
What up, Big? It's okay. We got that playback. What up, man? Driscoll
Big.
TV says what she didn't mention is that she does a lot of labor on her own before calling the midwife. When they first checked, she was already 9 centimeters. Oh,
Yeah, I have a high pain tolerance, so I
me
guess.
too. So let me tell you how. This is a quick story. So my first son, I went. So I was me and my husband was fixing the lawn. We wasn't gardening. We was doing more like I think it was adding mulch and or rechanging the mulch to make sure that it was fresh. And it was like pressure that I had, and I was like, this don't feel right. So I ended up going into the house. I was like, you know what? This might be labor. I made me my favorite meal and I sat down and I went through the motions. I realized I had consistent contractions every 20 minutes, and it went to every 10, then every 5. So I was like, oh, well, let me call. All right. When I got there, probably an hour before I got there, the pain was coming. Like, it was okay, this is labor. When I got there, an hour later, they checked me. They said that I was only 2 centimeters, right? So then I said, yeah, okay. They're trying to send me home. I was like, no, this is real labor. Like, I know this is it. I was at the 39-week mark anyway. Then in 30 minutes, I went from 2 to 4, right? They still wouldn't admit me. And I'm just sitting there. And she's like, well, it doesn't seem like you're in contractions. I was like, what do you mean doesn't seem like? Just because I'm not screaming, because I have a high pain tolerance, don't mean I'm not in pain. Don't compare me to people. I'm not average. All right. So she sent me downstairs and she was like, oh, you could go home and go downstairs. So I went downstairs and I walked for like 30 minutes. An hour after that, I came back. I was 8.5 centimeters. And I was like, you see what I'm talking about? Well, this story is to tell people you don't have to always listen to the doctor. You don't have to always listen. You listen to your body. And that's what my midwife taught me. Listen to your body. And I understood that from my first child. So if you feel it's happening, it might be happening. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a false, what is it? False.
Yeah.
Yeah.
False labor or
labor.
prodromal labor.
Yeah. Does not mean that, but you could still try. So, but yeah, pain. That's the only thing. Some women don't have a high pain tolerance. I didn't know I had one until I got into labor because I did it natural. Did you do yours natural?
Yes.
All of them?
No, not all of them. Just the last 3.
The last 3. Okay. So how was that transition from like the epidural to like not having it?
I was scared straight, honestly. So I had been talking about that I wanted to do it, just to do it. I keep hearing great things about how empowering it feels afterward, and how you get to walk around right afterwards and all of that. And then I tried to, but I couldn't handle the pain. And then they came to give me an epidural, and I felt sharp pains going down my leg, and I was like, I'm screaming, and there's a needle in my back, and I'm like, oh my God, I can feel it in my legs. What are you doing? I was just so scared. Like, I'm like, you're about to ruin me.
Yeah, right.
And then he had to pull it out and stick me again. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. Never.
That's insane. So that was that was the end to that.
Yeah. And then COVID happened, and I didn't want to have to go to the hospital and they say that my husband can't be there. So it was just like, I was like, we're just going to do it this way. I've been wanting to do it. Now I'm forced to do it. Let's do it.
That was my story for my second, because I always wanted a water birth from the beginning. It's just that no one was able to support it. So I got used to the hospital to where I didn't want to have a home birth no more. I was scared to have a home birth because I was like, how does this work? But then COVID happened. Oh, it was forced, because I was like, what? Y'all having babies without your man there? Oh, no. He's always there with me. He actually helps me through labor. He's like my doula and all that. So there's no way. So yeah, I definitely get that.
Yeah. So I couldn't imagine doing it by myself. That would be scary. I probably wouldn't even dilate if I didn't have him there with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta be there.
Yeah, exactly. Did you always want a big family?
I didn't care, honestly. No, I didn't really care to have a big family. I thought 4 was gonna be it. I thought I was just gonna have 4, but when I married my husband, I told him I'll give him as many babies as he wants, and it didn't stop.
All those kids later. Look, I catch myself saying the same thing, and I'm like, let me stop because we already got 3 that came from me, and I'm like, yeah. It's like when you have a lot of kids, it's like you want more. I don't know. I got addicted after my 3rd one for some reason. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes, I guess. But we're gonna take a break. It's time to get some other things done because
Right. All he knows is the hormonal pregnant me. He doesn't even really know marriage with a regular Jasmine. So I'm like, let's
wow.
experience that.
Yeah, that would be different. That would spice up the marriage. I know that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, now do you guys live in like a big city or is it more country living?
Yeah, it's a city, a big
Okay.
city.
Nice. That's good. So, are you like, in a house or do you have to do, yeah,
We're in a house. We did live in Philly for a little while. I don't know how long. It was like 4 years. That's where I initially moved when I moved in with him at first. He was in Philadelphia.
uh,
So that was the biggest city life we've ever lived in. We were always in townhomes. But they,
townhomes.
yeah, where we shared a wall with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, townhomes are nice. Does it have a lot of yard space for you guys?
No, we
I don't
had
know why they
little yards.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so beautiful. Like where I'm at, they have townhomes that's like 5 stories. I'm like, I've never seen one that big in my life.
Mhm.
But they are really nice. So I was gonna ask if you guys do gardening, but I know that you can't with that. Wow.
Not in, but actually I can here now, and my husband wants to start doing that, start growing our own stuff. So eventually I'll get there.
Yeah, we say the same. Like, we had a time where we tried and failed,
Mhm.
It's definitely something to learn. I don't think it's something you learn like overnight. It's like you have to study it because they talk about temperatures, only this amount of crops, this type of crops is good for this month, do start growing this and that month. And I'm like, use this soil. I'm like, all right, y'all doing too much.
Can we
Grow
just
really
put the
good.
seed in the dirt and water it?
Right. You can't just do that. But the only thing I could grow really good is aloe vera plant. That's easy. Aloe vera plant is the easiest
Mhm.
thing ever. I love it. Um, yeah, so that's crazy. So now how do you balance your work, not your work, sorry, housewife and being a mother and then balancing it with your marriage? How do you guys have time?
Okay. And before I answer that, just to be clear, because I don't know if I don't live in Philadelphia now. That was just earlier. We live in Arizona now. But
Arizona, yes.
yeah.
Uh-huh. I was going to ask about Arizona. So Arizona, I know the only thing I remember in Arizona is that you could get a license and it'll last you for the rest of your life. Is that true? Driver's license?
I don't, you know what? Yes.
Recent?
Yes. My husband I just got a driver's license here not too long ago. And it, like, the year that it expires is just like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to that.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, let's move to Arizona just to get that. You get tired of renewing license and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, how do you balance your marriage and the kids and the
Um, well, honestly, we don't let the kids take over our room. They're not allowed to come in our room unless they're knocking and they're asking.
yeah.
We usually this I think this baby has been the longest that's been in our bed because she's the last one. We're just spoiling her. But we get the babies out the bed after so long, so
What
and
time? What time frame do you get them out the bed?
um it's usually around it's usually around this time, 3 months.
Oh,
Around three
early.
months.
That's
Hmm.
early. Look, I'm trying to get my kid out the bed right now. Like, and this is the latest I ever had a kid in the bed. My first, I had him out at the 7 month mark, and then he was sleeping in his own room by 9, 10 months. Bedtime, woke up, appropriately. But this
Hmm.
one, he's still lingering around. But we trained him right. My husband always trained them how to, get them out and the discipline.
Mine,
Oh, he
yeah,
does the same.
yeah, mine too. Like our first baby we had together, I didn't want her to. I was like, she needs me. We don't, He
Yeah.
was like, she'll be fine. The first night he tried it, he laid her in the bed and she smiled. And he walks away and she went to sleep. And I was like,
No.
I'm feeling upset. I'm like, she don't need me.
Oh, you mad because see, for my kids, they smile too, but I can't, for some reason, I can't get them to sleep without me. I can't tell them, hey, you're gonna sleep here. My husband is the only one that could discipline them in that way. It's been only like 3 days, and my almost 1-year-old is literally going to sleep without any of us. He lays down after he gets his bottle, he lays down and he's out. And I'm like, see, I can't do it. But he always is able to do it. I don't know if it's the father voice or what.
The babies know we're suckers.
Mm.
So they know that as soon as I whine, mommy's gonna get me. That's what it is.
That's you reaching up, looking all cute. Like, okay, I got you.
Right.
Wow.
But we spend a lot of time at night together because like I said, he works night shift as well. But even when he's not working night shift, because his hours are like that, he's up late. So I'm up with him, and the kids are to bed. So we spend time together, watch movies, hang out, talk, do shows, whatever that may be.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So he works at night and in the morning, like a morning shift too, just at night?
Just at night. And then he's also a wedding DJ. So on the weekends, he'll do a whole day event where he's, DJing.
So, wow. So he works at night, but that means he's with you for the most part, you and the kids?
Yeah, he's resting or work. He's always doing something. He's working. If it's not from home, it's online or whatever he's doing. He's a an artist as well, so he makes music. We have basically a whole studio in our room, so he's always doing something.
Yeah, I don't know. These men can't sit still because my husband always doing something too, trying to make money and different ways, strategies, and all this stuff. And I'd be like, okay, that's what's up. I respect that. But yeah, we too. A lot of our time spent together is at night, when the kids are asleep, or on the weekends mostly. But at night is for us too, because it's possible. There's no way we could hang out with our husband and the kids, and they all around. I hear them screaming now, but I'm like, there's no way. Like y'all go to sleep. This is me and him. We do put each other first in that regard. The kids are after that, because without us, there would be no them. And that's important, to have your spouse first. Some people shy away from saying that or feeling that way because they think the kids are first. Now, we're not saying the kids don't mean nothing. We're not going to say they're going to get scraps or some nonsense. It's just that if your relationship is healthy and stable, right, then you'll be able to be better parents. So if you put your kids in front of your husband, your relationship going to be jacked up, point blank. Because you're not going to be paying attention to each other. You're not going to know when something is going wrong. You're not knowing anything. So it's best to have it right up front. You communicate, work things through, have different, when things are going wrong or whatever, you still are able to talk about what are the next steps to make things better. You can't do that if John and Maria or whoever's in your face. It's just not happening. So separating that is always best.
Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. People are very triggered by that. I stand by marriage comes first before the kids. That's it. Marriage first before the kids. Your spouse first before the kids. Because like you said, I mean, what are y'all going to do? For instance, when the kids get older and they get married and they create their own families, y'all are left looking at each other and y'all don't know each other really.
Right.
And the only thing that made y'all come together were the kids. That's not going to be good.
It's not. That's a divorce. And we talking about how to not get a divorce, but that's one way for sure. If you guys are not connected still, after, even, it doesn't matter how many years you've been together, you could still be very connected with somebody after a certain amount of years. Some people be like, oh, he's annoying, but I still love him though. Stop saying stuff like that. You should still think that he is, the best thing since sliced bread. That's why you with him. So you look at him like that, you'll have more smiles on your face when you see him. So me and my husband been together 9 years. How long have you been together before? Like total together?
I think about 9 years as well. Yeah,
Wow.
9 years. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
like we're closer than ever. It's like every year it's
mhm.
always getting closer. So
Absolutely,
that's great.
absolutely. We're best friends. We know each other better than anybody else knows us.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
now do you have help with with the kids at home every day, or it's just you?
It's just me. We don't have any family here, so it's me and Dad. It's just us. We have our own little tribe right here in our home.
So I know you guys have a serious bond with
Hmm.
that. And
Hmm.
you homeschool them?
Yes, I
Okay.
homeschool.
What program do you use for homeschooling?
Well, right now, I'm using Easy Peasy Homeschooling. And it's a free one. It's Christian, if y'all want to look that up. And my oldest are on that, and then my youngest, I do it myself,
Mm,
just from stuff online. But I will be switching them all to what is called Think Exodus.
Think X. I'm writing this down because
Mhm.
I homeschool too. Think
Mhm.
Exodus. So right now, I took a break from it, but we were using a Becca. We used a Becca once. Well, we started off using the K-12 public school online because
Mhm.
that's free. Well, at least on this side, East Coast, that's free. It's a public school, but it's just online, and there are many kids that are on that. I did not like it. The instruction was like just an hour a day just for instruction. I'm like,
Mhm.
for little kids, there's no way you're gonna teach a kid a 30-minute for math and then 30-minute for reading, and then that's it for a 6 hour, school period.
Mhm.
So the next year after that, I found a Becca, which is a Christian school too, but that's like 1,000 annually.
Mhm.
I didn't like that for my kid only because that style he was just wasn't ready for. I believe that whatever your kid can thrive in is what they should be in. So then after that, I started using this program called Acellus. And you ever heard of that, Acellus?
I think so. It starts with an A, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Acellus. Yeah, that's $25 a month for each kid, and that
Mhm.
one is strictly online. You could print out stuff, but it's strictly online, and it teaches them, and you don't really have to do much except monitor and see, okay, what are you learning, and if you want to add something to it, they test. It's like a testing system. If they're not good at what's going on, okay, cool, you're not good at this. I'm gonna push these different methods to you until you can get it, and then they move on with the topic. So it's
Mhm.
very good for that. But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think Exodus is similar to that. It's all online, and you print out what you need to print out.
Right.
What I love about it is, one is faith based, and they focus on um, obliterating the lies that public schools are teaching our kids, and
Mm,
teaching children how to see through the lies, how to critically
mm,
think for themselves,
right.
and the importance on reading and all those things, because
Mm,
they're teaching a lot of things that most people wouldn't agree with now in public schools. So
wow. Like I heard they took the Pledge of Allegiance out of the schools.
they did the
Yeah.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Mhm.
Wow. I
Like
know
we
they took prayer out, but the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, like so we went to an open house what was it, a couple days ago. It was a parent meeting. I decided that I wanted my kids to go into an all boys school so they could learn how to be leader. I have all boys. So they could learn how to be leaders, not just through, my husband, but see other leaders, cuz sometimes you need other males around boys because they
Mhm.
like to they're observant, they like to watch. Oh, okay, I like how he moves, he's doing this, he's doing that, so that school is amazing. I'm so like, it exceeded my expectations. But I took my
Mhm.
husband there, and I asked them, because I they were showing what they do in the mornings, but I didn't see that. I said, so what happened to the flag and all of that? They said they took it out of the schools. Now I don't know if he was talking about that state or if it was everywhere. But I was so like surprised to hear that. I thought they would never take that out.
Yeah, they're teaching our children to be anti-patriotic. They don't want our children in the next generation to love their country
Mm, okay.
and God.
Yeah. Bella Ring says, completely agree to put your spouse above the children. That keeps the family strong. Yes. Wait, I missed some. Okay. All right. What's up, Stephanie? She says, my 5-year scared the crap out of me last night because she crawled in at like 2 a.m. Yeah, they be doing that. Okay. Bella Rings asks, I intend to homeschool once my son is of age. Any advice?
Depending if he can talk, you could start now and just start with singing your ABCs, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. You don't have to spend 8 hours a day especially at a very young age. They have a short attention span. So just incorporate teaching them along your daily duties, like if you're doing the dishes, or let them be a part of learning how to be, a person that could take care of themselves. And like I said, just turn on the TV, played ABCs, show them the letters, make it fun. You don't have to force them to sit down and write all the time. They don't even have to write to learn. They could, interaction, learning to critically think, ask them questions that'll make them think.
Yeah, that's a great question, Bella Rings. So for me, when my first son, I actually started showing him alphabets, colors, shapes when he was 10 months old. So I was so strict in the beginning of my parenting. So I didn't even show him the TV until he was 10 months old. I used to have him turn around and face me. I don't know why I was doing that. It's just like I was so like, okay, what's gonna happen? Are you gonna choke? I was paranoid for no reason. And then there was a time where I was like, I had turned him around and I had on Word Party on Netflix at first. And he was just staring at it. I said, oh, okay. So you're ready to learn something. So I took that opportunity, and he's been learning since that age. And it came to a point where I showed him only education. I never showed him Mickey Mouse or anything. It was strictly just academics. It came to a point where he was reading, he knew his numbers from 1 to 20 at 1.5, and he was saying it. And he had a book looking like the page numbers, and he was flipping. I have a video. I'll probably share it one day. Had a video, 2, 3, and he skipped a number. So he went back and he said, oh, 5, And I was like, there's no way. So if you introduce it early, like what Jasmine was saying, especially if they're able to talk right away. But the trick is make sure that you only show, if you want them to really excel, I should say, because a lot of us, we're not like born genius. Some of us need that kickstart, especially if you put them in regular school. But Jasmine, her kids are homeschooled. So for her, it's not that much pressure. But if you're trying to put your kid in school and you want them to be kind of ready, make sure that you are just showing academics all day, every day. And your kid will have no choice but to learn. My kids were singing their ABCs in their sleep. So make sure you do that if you plan to put them into public school. So yeah. Driscoll TV says, y'all need to move to Arizona. We have the best school choice program in the country. Oh, really? They give you the money they would pay the school if you're homeschooling, and you can use it towards curriculums. No. All right, James. Yeah, you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
You need to come.
I just applied. I'm just waiting to get my money.
What? I've never heard of that. That's amazing. Where I'm at, they in Maryland, they don't offer money, but they're strict. Like I have to report what he's learning, and I have to get approved. And it has to be after that they give me the compliance for it, like good standing. And that's how they do it here. But they don't give any money. And if they did, they mad. They owe me some if they do. Big says, if country will send you into a fight to help expand the empire of someone they wouldn't send to say fight, then good riddance for the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. All right. You're welcome, Bella Rings. Just started in September. It's a new program. That must have been because of COVID too. What do you think? Why they're giving money?
I think it was new legislation that was put into place for school choice or something like that. I'm not sure.
Probably, yeah, because a lot of kids had to be homeschooled during the pandemic. And there's some parents who actually kept their kids homeschooled after the pandemic too. It's crazy. All right, we're wrapping up here. I have probably one last question. So, can you give us like a day in a life with Jasmine and kids and husband? How does that look from morning to night? Bedtime for them. Bedtime for them.
Go. See, they all rushed out. Go.
Look, we're
Um,
almost done, you guys.
a day in the life.
Breakfast to dinner.
It's always different. It's never like I don't have a set schedule that looks a certain type of way. We kind of like wing it. But what does happen every day is, especially since I just had the baby,
Mm-hmm.
um the kids get up. My oldest son and the boys, they go take a shower because usually somebody peed. So they I've taught them to know how to get situated in the shower. They come out here. Big sister is pouring cereal, or she likes to bake. She likes to make pancakes. So she'll say, "Oh, hey, mom, can I make pancakes today?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, please, thank you."
Right.
Yeah, and she thinks, she's like, she's just happy she gets to cook, but it's really helpful. So she usually handles breakfast almost every morning for the kids. So
Wow.
yeah, so I hang out with the baby. Then that's when I get up, and actually lately we haven't the kids have been reading, but we haven't been doing homeschool. So we just took a little break. That's
Yeah.
what I love about homeschool. You
Yes.
take a
Yes.
break. I'm kind of waiting on the funds to come so I can switch them over to the new curriculum. But before then, um, they will eat, they will hang out. Once I get dressed and get ready, I will go ahead and bring out the computer for my daughter, get my oldest son situated, because they can do that on their own. And
Right.
then that's when me and the kids will turn on the TV, we'll listen to some music, we'll sing our ABCs. And then right now I'm focusing on teaching them how to read.
Mm.
Mhm. And
Okay.
that's what I love about it, is like I don't have to be like, oh, you got to do math and you got to do this, you
Yeah.
got to do that, you got to do that. We count too, but right now the biggest focus is I want them to know how to read.
Yeah. So what helped them learn is I used to show them videos. So Preschool Prep Company, you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so on YouTube, Preschool Prep Company, you would love that because it shows sight words and it makes it cool. So they'll show like a lot of animation to get them wanting to keep watching it. And they play like 7 words of video and it's repetitive. They say it over and over, like in the video. That's all you hear is these words. You don't hear nothing else. You don't hear nobody talking. You just hear words they do that. They do numbers. That company does math as well, but it's a repetitive system, and the repetitive system it works for my kids. My 5-year-old can read like at a first, second grade level. He doesn't have the comprehension yet, but he knows how to read the words. But it's because of those things that I just shared with you. There's another one, Lottie Learns on YouTube. So this is not like hands on. This is literally you're looking at the screen, watching words come across. So Lottie Learns is another one. And then what is it? Busy Beavers help them understand how to pronounce words, letters. I'm sorry. So those things, like the electronics work for us. Busy Beavers is for the letter recognition and phonics. And then you have Preschool Prep Company, which is all sight words. Oh, they do phonics too. There's letters as well and math. And then you have Lottie Learns, which is strictly sight words. So yeah, those things definitely help. I introduced the Busy Beavers to my son really early, so that will help them read, and it's very fun to watch. It's not like it's boring. It's always something going on. They're not gonna, unless they really just like doing other stuff, but it would grab their attention.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, I think I have one last question. So this is the last question. So what do you like being a housewife, a stay-at-home mother? Do you like being married? And is it working for you? Like, are you happy?
Hmm. Absolutely. But I will say in the beginning, I didn't like it because I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at homemaking. I could cook, but I could barely cook. And it was a struggle at first. And I actually convinced my husband, I was like, I want to go back to work because I'm not bringing any value in the home. I want to bring value in some way. So I
Right.
went back to work, and that was just so stupid. It was so stupid. I did it for like a year. Then I got pregnant again, and so I was
Uh,
there big and pregnant working, and
yeah.
the money wasn't really worth it. The kids weren't thriving like they were when I was home. The
Hmm.
house was going to crap, and I'm like, all right, I think I want to stay home. This isn't working. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I ended up quitting, and it was a mindset shift. I had to change my mindset. And I think that's the biggest issue today with modern women. They think being a housewife is slavery, being a housewife is boring. I don't get to be seen.
Hmm.
They don't want to have to do that, and they know, and quite frankly, a lot of us just aren't good at it. And I can admit I wasn't good at it. I wasn't taught. My mom was a single
Mm.
mom, and she all she did was work,
Wow.
so I
Yeah.
didn't really see that. But
Yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, I need to figure this out, because this is what's best for my kids. Because as soon as I came home, everybody was happy again. There was less stress in
Uh,
the home. The
yeah.
kids were just happy mommy was home, and they were so little. And
Yeah.
at this point now in my life, I would cry if my husband said, you got to go back to work. I'll be like, no, please.
You better get the businesses popping at home, whatever it is. Try to make that money, obviously, you know.
Right. Now, I don't have an issue with making money, but long as it's from home, long as I have the flexibility to take care of my kids, and to take care of my home.
Yeah.
And it's a different type of freedom. I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm
Oh,
less stressed.
mm,
I feel like I feel sheltered and protected on a much deeper level than having to wake up every morning and go out there and fight traffic and deal with people with their attitudes, and then I come home with my attitude. Like,
mhm.
it definitely has changed my health. I feel better.
Wow. I love your breakdown. And I hope you guys are listening, because she's saying that she, wanted to go back to work. She did. And that was a fail. She didn't feel as confident, or, feeling like she was needed at the workplace. She felt she was needed at home. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually amazing. She does have, you have a lot of kids. So I can understand, at least in that aspect, to make sure that they are well taken care of, because ain't nobody going to take care of your kids like you would. Even if you think so, even grandmas and all them, they do help, but that's not their kids. You know what they need, you know what they want, you know their language, you know everything, because you birthed them. So I appreciate your transparency on that, about going back to work, coming back, and that you love it.
Hmm.
So that's
And
great.
there's a level of confidence that your children gain when
Mhm.
they know mommy is going to always be there.
Yeah.
It's just, you see kids all the time get dropped off at daycare, and they're screaming and crying. I believe personally, and I know a lot of people can't really help it. They have to do it because either they're a single mom or they just can't afford it, which you can. There are ways you can
Yes.
sacrifice. But the when you drop the kids off, you see them screaming and crying. They want to be with mommy. And I believe it's a trauma. I think it's traumatizing to children. It's even traumatizing to the mom, honestly. But it's traumatizing to those children that they feel abandoned,
Yeah.
especially at a young age.
Yeah, so I had my moment where this was like a couple months ago in October, where we were like, okay, we're gonna put our kids into the daycare, but it had to be like a, really strict daycare, make sure that they are not like, because you could get bad in school real quick with the right, the wrong crowd. So I picked a good preschool. It was like a celebrated preschool program. They went, and my 2-year-old, well, he had that crying out. He did that for 2 weeks, and I was like, well, I don't know what else to do, because I have things to do. And it's best that they're here right now. And I used to watch them just fall on the floor, and I just had to kind of suck it up because they were there for a reason. Fast forwarding to now, I'm trying to, find me a nanny to stay in the house, to just help with just taking care of them while I'm busy doing certain things for the moment, and see how that works. I never thought I would have a nanny. I used to be like, "Hey, why do you need a nanny? You do it yourself." But sometimes when you're like the stuff that I do, it's time consuming, and I don't want to like neglect my child because I'm focused on this, and they're like, "Mommy, can I get this?" And they want to do all these things. I'm like, cool. The school thing didn't work out for me. They kept getting sick. And then now I'm like, you know what? Nanny, because nanny is going to give them that attention that I could give them in a different way. It's more one-on-one because I love the one-on-one teaching. And it's just for a few hours and then I'm back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try that out and I will let you guys know how that goes. But I'm going to try that part out until I figure out what's best. But I've been a stay-at-home mom for 9 years straight. Housewife at first, and then now, strict when I had my first son, strictly at home. So I'm just trying to see other opportunities because I did obtain some degrees. So I want to see what's out there for me, especially where I live. There's so much opportunity to make so much money out here. So, more income, the better. Sometimes it's best that way. So we're going to try it. I'm going to update you. I don't know if I'm going to be like a year later, oh, I don't want to be here, happen.
That was me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it some time. I'm about to do kind of what you did a while ago, and I'm gonna see. And I might not, because we have goals. So yeah. So I'm so glad you shared the story. There are some chats that's here. Beautiful. What's up, sophisticated jerk? He's been married. I think I read it was 19 years. That's amazing. Misery Loves Company says, thanks, great. Sadly to say, most women will not feel that joy. Peace to you and your husband. Staying at home. Yeah, they don't feel that. Yeah. Driscoll TV says, I hated her for it because I was watching the kids in the morning and going to work all night. Ooh, yeah. Y'all might as well finish building the football team. Driscoll TV says, the one memory I have from being a toddler was the day my mom said I don't have to go to daycare no more because she got a new job with better hours. I remember the joy like it was yesterday. Oh, I like that you shared that. Do they have a lot of kids? I didn't catch the beginning. Oh, you heard? Okay, they said it here. 8 kids, yo.
Wow.
Jerk has 1, I believe. But yeah,
they take care of each other when they're close in age like that. It doesn't really feel like I have 8 kids, honestly. When I tell people I have 8, they be like, oh my God. And I'm like, it feels like I may have 4 or 5 kids.
And that's still a lot because I have 4 kids. And but you're right, they do take care of each other. Like my 3-year-old, he was like, Mommy, and he was trying to get a shoe off. It was one of them that was stuck. So I was like, Solomon, go help him. He's the 5-year-old. And he was out there pulling the shoe and, it was going to work. It came off, And as they get older, they would start to do things like that. They're not going to have to ask me for simple stuff like that. So exactly. I see that now. What car do you drive? Someone asked. How do I fit?
I forgot what it's called. I don't be knowing nothing. That's my husband.
What type of car y'all drive? What fit 10 people? Unless y'all drive in separate cars or something like that. Some people do that.
Yeah. At this point, we can't really fit all of us now with the extra baby. We do have to drive 2 cars, but before we were still kind of squished in there, but it was still, what is it called? Oh, no, I can't think right now.
We'll type it in soon, but yeah, that's a great question. So I think that's all of the questions I have for you. I love that you're sharing your story because some people need to hear this. There are people that are probably thinking about going back to work, just like in your shoes. I'm gonna go to work and I don't know. Always do what's best for you in your house though, because we could look at Jasmine's story and be like, oh, I'm not gonna go to work because when she went to work, she didn't want to go. No, just make sure you guys are wise about your decision making and know if you need it or not. If you don't need it, then don't do it. Stay at home with your kids. Your kids need you.
Right.
And understand. Go ahead.
And honestly, it was unfair to my husband because he didn't sign up for that, because he wanted me to take care of the home. We had that deal where that was gonna be my job. So when I asked if I can go back to work, he was like, sure, but I'm not picking up your slack. You're still
Ooh,
gonna have to take care of the house.
wow, I like that.
So I did that, and I was like, okay, never mind, never mind.
Yo, I love that he stands firm to what he believes,
Mhm.
and he's gonna let you go do it. So I love that he is supportive and patient.
Right. He let me learn on my own.
Yeah, that's the best way to teach. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's true for anybody. It doesn't have to be, kids, or it's anybody. So I like that. But so how long ago was that when you worked? Was this years ago or?
That was years
Oh,
ago.
okay, got
Yeah.
you. All right. Sophisticated Drake says, thanks for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
But I'm gonna end it with this on my part. Well, you could end it first. I'm sorry. What would you like to say to the audience? Share your business, share your channel. How
Mhm.
can they find you?
Oh, yes. You can follow me here on YouTube, in these YouTube streets, at Family Values TV. We talk about all things family and marriage, and um, considering that I was born into a single mother's home, I had to learn the hard way of how to be a wife. So as I learned, I try to give that wisdom to other ladies who want to be a wife or who are already wives and they just want to know how to be a better wife. So
Mm.
come on over there and follow me and check me out.
Yeah, because she is strictly stay-at-home mom, housewife, all of it with her kids, them 8 kids. Husband works, all of that great stuff. So you definitely could learn from her. Her channel is in the chat right now. It's also in the description. I put her information there. Driscoll, shout out to you for holding it down. Yes, always. Kudos to you for sure. Um,
Okay.
all right, Jasmine, we will definitely stay in touch and stay connected on these YouTube streets, girl.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely. We got to collab again.
Yes, yes. All right.
Mhm. All
All
right. Bye-bye.
right. Oh, that was such a breath of fresh air. I love seeing similarity, because I've been doing this stay-at-home mom, housewife thing for 9 years straight. I have my kids every 2 years. And then, like I said, I have a stepson. So I was a mother before I became a mother, if you know what I'm saying. So um, I just want to end it there, though. But she did a great job being transparent and explaining, how her life and everything works out for her. She seems very happy. She does not look stressed, like what she was saying. I could say that when you are a stay-at-home mom, housewife, you're not as stressed. You do not have to deal with a lot of nonsense because it's not in the home unless you create drama. But I mean, obviously, why would you create drama in your house? So yeah, definitely replay this video and take some notes there. She definitely dropped some gems, and her husband was in the chat dropping some more gems, backing her up. Sound like my great grandma. Yeah, let's bring it back. And there's nothing wrong with staying at home. You're not less than, you're doing something that is needed. It's your family. So the best way to take care of your family is you as the wife, and the husband, he does his part. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you have it where, both of you guys can make some serious guap, then go make some serious guap. But don't neglect yourself, don't neglect your spouse, and don't neglect your kids. You still should be able to do it all. There are a lot of success stories for that too. So yeah, I'm gonna end it with this: with stay productive. Make sure you don't waste a lot of your time doing unnecessary things. Yes, you can have a break, but don't take that break for a whole month. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being dramatic, but try to make sure that if your goals are not complete, start completing them. Be consistent. And I'm gonna do the same. I got things I'm trying to complete too. I have my own goals. So what I say, I do. But please check out my latest shorts, my latest Instagram reels. I'm trying to post a little bit more and support. Thank you so much for being here. All right.
Music licensing reimagined.
I believe what you truly desire, you can bring to pass. All you need is a focus and a story to hold, and the faith that you can achieve what's inside your soul. Someday we'll make it all right. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way,
Artlist.io.
we're gonna get. Someday we'll make it all right. Someday. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. Know that you can make it. All the time, cause they will try to take it.
Music licensing reimagined.
But whatever you do, don't let them break it. This moment's just a new chance to take into your own hands and shape the life you see inside your dreams. Someday we'll make it all right. Someday. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get.
Artlist.io.
Someday we'll make it all right. Someday we'll make it. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. In your heart there lives a dream for your soul to master.
Music licensing
From the moment that
reimagined.
you breathe, get to chasing after, yeah. All that you want, all that you ever dreamed. You can make anything of this life. Someday we'll make it all right. Other days we only can someday try. We only try. No matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get.
Artlist.io.
Someday, other days we only can try. Other days, no matter what people say. No matter what they say, we gonna get. Someday we'll make it all right. Someday, other days we only can try. Other days, no matter what people say.
Music licensing reimagined.